We are live now. Can we check if we are even sounding? Refresh. Okay, cool. Hello everyone. We are back for our 8th AMA session, and for the first time, we are doing it all together in the same frame. Let me see how many people we have live. We have already 9 people watching, which is not a bad number for the kind of live audience we get. So, yeah, we'll start now. Um, yeah, finally, we are all back in the office. All our staff is back in the office, and that's why you're all seeing us together in the Drive office in Bangalore, where we are doing our AMA today. To start with, we'll give you guys updates about what's happening, where do we stand, generally from the tech and from the ops perspective. To start with, I guess March was a really good month for us. So yeah, March was really good month for us in terms of how we have picked up from when things went wrong with the new variant of COVID, where things were not that good for us. We have picked up in the month of March. We have real good numbers of drivers, riders, and even the ride that's happening in the platform. We're also working on the scaling as of now, where we have already actually converted the pilot launch into a soft launch, but now working on the scaling part of it, as we told you in the last AMA that we are working on the scaling part of it. We're also now working on integrating the DRF coin into the application, where drivers and riders will be able to earn DRF and use DRF for their ride activities, which in itself is a most important aspect of what DRF is all about. Apart from that, we spoke about the franchisee staking. So everything that has to do with the DRF token in the Drive ecosystem is lined up for Q2. Franchisee staking and DRF within the application is something that we are also working side by side with actually taking DRF uh, uh, to Pan Bangalore. Now Surya will give you update on the ops side, and then Mudit can give on the tech side.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Firdosh, for the introduction. Um, I hope I'm audible also.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like as discussed in the last previous AMA, we actually increased multiple folds. So we have almost more than 25 odd downloads only from the Bangalore, and more than 5 to 6 thousand of drivers. Or I think I'm not sure about the number, I missed it, but uh, the number has been multiplied more than two-folds. Drivers also. So yes, and we are averaging daily 100 rides. I mean, this is such a drastic and exponential increase from the previous month. And most importantly, all the drivers started getting to know the true value of the app, and it's like they started recommending to their peers, be it drivers, and you had an experience with a driver yesterday.
Exactly. So when we are speaking with drivers, obviously because we are new app for drivers, more than understanding that how we are different, when they are starting to recognize us, like why we are different, and when they are already in another ride, be it with different platform that exists, they feel bad for themselves that they are in a ride and they're not able to accept a ride when it comes through Drive. And I guess with time that number will also increase, where we are getting more successful riders compared to what we have already in place. We also heard about a lot of issues where people are saying that the average waiting time is more. Yes, it is more because the kind of supply that we have is not as huge as what other platforms have in place. But still people are able to complete their ride. The good part is whenever there is a driver in the particular location, when you're looking for a ride, we're able to give you a driver within 10 seconds of a ride request, which in itself is a very good statistics when you are waiting for a driver to get accepted and get allocated to you as a rider. So that's happening. It's a gradual process. I personally feel happy about the fact that drivers are able to recognize who we are and how we are different, and they've started getting a lot of drivers on board. And it's we are growing organically very
Word of
well.
mouth,
Word
exactly.
of mouth is working a lot for us. So yeah, that way we are really doing good. And as we spoke about the scaling, the next month, April, is what we are looking at, where we want to. As of now, we have like 3,000 active drivers in our system. Active drivers, which we are planning to make it 10,000 drivers, and 500,000 rider is what we are targeting for Q2. That's a number we are trying to achieve, which will actually make us a platform, a pan Bangalore platform. We have already removed the geofencing for Bangalore, and we have seen people even using Drive for airport rides. Even before, yeah, even before we actually did a campaign about we being available in airports. That's a ride which is the most expensive ride someone does on a platform, and that has already started happening in the platform. Even we promoting it before that it's happening. We also did some campaigns. There was a holy campaign that we did. We got like more than like 5,000 audience. All of that happened. So that way we are getting a lot of recognition in Bangalore in India, and that's what we look to do specifically. That have drive presence across Bangalore, and people do understand about drive platform, both driver and rider. Now let
And we take this model of Bangalore
to
as
another
yeah.
city. Yeah, that's the whole plan. Mudit.
Okay, so yeah, so this month has been good. We've been doing a lot of things on the tech front. So the first thing that we have been focusing on, as Surya also said, he's scaling up the operations, and correspondingly we need to scale up the tech. So we've been scaling up the application. We've been scaling up the number of the ride requests we can process, the throughput we provide. So we are working on that. As along with that, we're also working on ironing out the issues in the app, fixing the bugs that come up, and pushing out hot fixes time and again. Apart from that, so these are in terms of the scaling of the application and bug fixes. In terms of features, what we've rolled out since the past AMA are the first one we've rolled out is with regards to incentivization and bonuses. So we've rolled out a lot of driver incentive schemes wherein they complete certain n number of rides to get certain bonuses, and they get rewards for being active. So for being for servicing rides. So as to get a lot of drivers on board. Second thing, we worked on user passenger promotions. So we've been working on multiple types of discount schemes, multiple types of cashbacks. So we worked on flat amount discounts like flat $100 off up to so much, or flat 20% off. So both percentage and flat amount discounts have been worked on. And apart from this, another feature that we did roll out is the cross referral feature, which is very unique, which makes us different from all other platforms, wherein the drivers can refer drivers along with other passengers, and vice versa. Passengers can refer passengers, their fellow friends, along with drivers on the platform. So this helps us in gaining popularity very quickly. So let's say if a driver uses Drive and another ride-hailing platform, and if they're servicing a passenger using the other platform, they can get them onboarded onto Drive as a cross-referrer and vice versa, right? So we've been working on that. There are brilliant incentive mechanisms also involved in this, which help the adoption of the application. Another safety feature we worked on is SOS. So we implemented SOS, and now we have, under Surya, we have an entire customer support team which receives all of these alerts, service requests, callback requests. So that is something else that we've done on the safety feature. Another thing that we're working on is the admin dashboard, which is going to be somewhat a part of the franchisee dashboard. So we've implemented a couple of features there, and some are in process. So we've implemented the live tracking feature. So our admins can, the ops admin, which Surya has, they can see all the live trips, see where each drivers are, things like that, and red flags are raised when the rides stop for certain times and things like that. We've also implemented the trip history feature. So for trips, you can look at how they went and what happened in the trips in the past. We've been working on driver and rider detail screens where drivers can be onboarded, KYC can be done, coupled with our third-party KYC provider. And finally, we also integrated a module for sending out notifications. So a lot of notifications that if you have the application here, if you're using Bangalore, you receive a lot of cool notifications. We have created a process to automate that, to send that out, to schedule notifications and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the things on the tech front. There are a lot of other small services, so microservices and stuff that we're building to improve the quality of services, to improve the entire architecture. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, I guess there is one cool aspect of Drive, which is obviously referral, but we are also working on implementing referrals where retail stores and everybody can have their own unique referral code which they can use to get drivers and rider on board, and they can be a part of the whole chain. So that's something that Surya and his team is already working. So you start seeing us, like how you see different QR codes of payment gateways stick around in the retail stores. You're gonna see Drive also in different stores, because that's gonna open a passive source of income for all the retail stores when they start referring drivers and riders into our system. This is gonna also bring a lot of customers to our system with this promoter. We call them promoter. For Drive, and they will start getting us both drivers and rider into the platform. So that's also one of the cool thing that the ops team has come up with, and we have started working on getting those codes in place. And that's what I said, like the Q2 is basically showcasing how we have already moved from the pilot launch to the soft launch with driver, riders, or the promoters in place. And the numbers, I'm hopeful, will speak for themselves when we have all this in place. Apart from that, when I said to start, when we started, I said we're working on DRF implementation in the ecosystem, and bringing DRF not only for the franchisees but also for the platform, because that's the most important utility of DRF. It's not just about trading DRF on platform, but actually bringing DRF into the Drive ecosystem. The first thing that we spoke about, obviously, the first step that we are working on, where users will be able to earn DRF for different activities within the platform based on their activities, be it the ride they are taking or the how frequency of their rides or their performances. They'll start earning DRF. Then they'll start using the DRF for ride activities or the subscription that will very soon go live. Where drivers will start paying the subscription fees, there they will be able to use DRF. There is one more partnership that we are working on, where we'll be able to give drivers the ability to stake their DRF and get mini loans, micro loans actually, in the form of USDT. And then we are also working with the Indian exchanges, where they'll be able to provide immediate liquidity to drivers, so they actually get real cash without even worrying about the whole hassle of how they convert this crypto into cash. So they will stake DRF, get USDT, and they can easily convert that USDT and get a money in their bank account, which obviously I feel will be a very good implementation of actually bringing the staking and how the whole crypto ecosystem work, where now as only the crypto people who understand crypto were able to utilize the whole benefit of DeFi ecosystem, or staking and getting loans. Drivers will be able to do that, and I think that's one more step towards having this mass adoption for crypto, where people like driver who don't understand what this is will be able to take advantage of that feature. So that's something that we are working on. Apart from that, we all in the last call also we spoke about franchisee staking, and as I said, as Mudit mentioned, the admin dashboard has a lot of the features that will also go in the franchisee dashboard, which will be basically about you. If you are staked into that specific franchisee, say Bangalore, will have access to information about that specific city. So that's in progress. We have, but as soon as the admin dashboard, we're able to fetch all those from admin dashboard. We're gonna make the staking live. And last call also I said I'm not gonna give any timeline for the franchisee staking when it will go live. But in few weeks we'll try to give you, what do you say, a mock-up look of how the franchisee is taking,
what it's able to do,
what it's able to do, how it's gonna look, and what functionality to start with it will have. We cannot do everything on one go, so maybe the Bangalore franchisee, when it started, will have very basic information in place, and with time we'll improvise and add more features and details to the franchisee staking dashboard that we will have in place. Apart from that, I guess I know a lot of people are interested in knowing about the listing. And before that question comes in, I'm going to answer it from my side. We have 2-3 listings in place that we have to announce and do it. There is a specific reason that we're going to delay it minimum by first week of April to maximum the second week of April. We are delaying it deliberately. The reason why we are deliberately delaying the listing, I'm not gonna tell anyone as of now, because if I'm gonna tell that, it will actually defeat the whole purpose of why we are delaying the listing for 1 or maximum 2 weeks. And we will not be able to get the kind of response that we are expecting out of those listings. So there's a maximum delay of 2 weeks. So maximum we go to April 2nd week, minimum we go to April 1st week. That's what I have to say. I guess now we can take questions.
Yeah. So some questions that we received from our group of investors before we move on to all the questions that we have on YouTube. So the first question that we have is, can you provide an update on both international and Indian exchange listings? We know Q1 was sad, but Q1 is almost over, and I think we've answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. Will the franchisee dashboard also involve voting for location of next franchisees?
So that's something that has been also suggested as to us before, that but if there are 2 things that happens with the franchise taking. One is when you do a staking specifically for one franchisee, then there is a normal staking that we will do, where you will be able to get access to the kind of applications that we have in place, and where you will be able to vote. But if you stake for Bangalore as a franchisee, you will not get the right to vote for another franchisee. That is gonna be another maybe a governance forum that we will be creating, where we'll let you, if we have like 2 or 3 different locations in place, what we prioritize, you'll be able to vote on that, but that will not be linked to a specific franchisee.
Yeah. It will be some sort of a master dashboard.
Yes, it will be a master dashboard, a master staking platform, which gives you access to different kind of proposals and voting rights for Drive as a whole, not for one specific franchisee.
Yeah. Can you provide statistics on average number of rides per day currently?
So I guess Surya already spoke about it, like we are doing like 3 digits.
We are averaging 100 and above as of now, and we are looking forward to scale that number as we increase our drivers to more than 10,000. So hopefully the numbers will go way beyond that.
Yeah.
And I hope we'll be in a position to tell it will be more than 5,000 rides per day, and I think it's going to happen very soon. Yeah.
All right. How much percentage of registered drivers and riders actually end up using the app?
So I guess for drivers, we see on an average every day 50% of driver at any particular time in a day who comes online. So that's the live number. But we are also able to see now the riders who have booked the ride once, they are also coming back. We don't have a perfect number on that, but for drivers, because we track the driver online status, we see 50% of drivers staying online at any particular time in a day. So that's happening.
At every half an hour, as per the statistic shows, more than 650-700 riders are interacting with the platform.
Yes. With that also we have seen, like the yesterday's number that we saw is like around in an hour or something, we're seeing around 600 people coming on the platform and looking at the platform.
Yeah.
I guess overall for the month of March, the kind of impression we have got for application or our website or even our socials have increased a lot, specifically in Bangalore. So yeah, that's a good news.
When can we expect an updated roadmap?
We're gonna work on it in the month of April. As we already mentioned, we are like very much occupied with the scaling part of Drive. Where we are onboarding 10,000 drivers, a 500,000 rider. It's like every day there's so much going on that we ourselves lose what's happening in the office. It's like it feels like sometimes like a zoo. That's how it is working.
So if you can show the office, we deliberately evacuated all our
Yeah, because we
employees.
wanted some peace to be here on an AMA session. We wanted peace and we asked everyone to leave the office as of now. So we can do that because there's a lot of noise because of a lot of work that's happening here.
All right. Next question: will franchisee staking be the next round of staking? And if so, when can we expect that to occur?
Yes, franchisee staking will be the next round of staking. We were planning for an LP staking, but then again it got lost in the process of other things being more, important. Yeah, prioritized specifically because the request that we get from business team on daily basis about the new features and the new asks that drivers and riders have, and that's where we, could not prioritize the LP staking. We want to do that. Maybe we'll be able to do that before we do the
But we cannot
franchising.
commit to that.
We cannot commit to that because if we have to focus on the franchisee staking, because it's a very different staking, it is something that nobody has done because we have to put a lot of our heads into that as well when we are planning and working on the franchisee staking. We'll try to bring our LP staking in place, but mostly it will be a franchisee staking that will go live. Q2, maybe by mid of Q2, we're gonna see franchisee staking. Worst case.
Okay. When can we expect progression to next phase of operation in Bangalore? I think
It's already in progress.
So we are no longer in pilot.
Pilot.
We have moved on to a soft launch.
Yes.
And we, as Firdosh mentioned, we've opened up the entire city. And Surya and his team are working very hard to get a lot of people to make sure that a lot of people in the city, drivers, riders, both know about the application, know about us. And very soon you will see, if you're in Bangalore, you will see Drive everywhere. So, yeah. Will the next city that Drive go to be another major Indian city or will it be an international one? Can you state which cities for both international and India?
So there are two things that we are working on. One is testing Drive as a platform and the concept in an international ground to again have the feeling that whatever that is valid for Bangalore as a city or India as a country is also valid for other part of the globe. There's one city that we are at as of now mostly in the ideation stage where we are looking at how does the idea of testing it within a closed group of driver and rider in that specific city looks like. So we are working on that, but from the tech and ops point of view, when we have to do a franchisee, it will be very easier for us to implement it in another city in India. So most probably it can be an Indian city, not an international city, because that way we will be able to first test the whole concept of franchisee before we actually test Drive in different country. Because when we have to deploy Drive to another country, there's a lot of things that changes specifically from the business side. The whole payment integration or the KYC for driver, a lot of things that has to be changed when we have to do an international launch of Drive in another country. High possibility we'll do it in India and then go to another country.
Okay, that's all the questions from investors. I mean, from one set of investors.
One set of investors.
Now we've got some questions on our live AMA YouTube. So the first, I wouldn't call it a question. First comment from Randy says, "I hope you're considering on competing with Food Panda and Uber Eats."
As of now, the focus is Drive, running the cabs because we were actually developing this app for a long time and we never knew how does the ground reality looks like, and it's a very different environment and there's a lot of problems and a lot of things that happens on everyday basis. So our focus obviously is on Drive as a ride-sharing platform as of now. There are certain things that we are working on, which is obviously not in a short-term plan for us, but on a long-term roadmap that we have, where we'll be able to get into something which will solve problems like this. Also, like the problem that we are solving as a ride-sharing platform is a similar kind of problem that exists for everything and anything that is mobility. We have that in our head. We have that in our long-term roadmap for sure.
Fun fact: there is another company that we have. It's called Food Drive.
We have a concept in place. We did a lot of work on that. Yeah.
All right. Next set of questions from KV Rao. On one way, as initial investors, we lost 94% of our investments. Any plans to convert them as equity as we still hold the tokens?
So I've been saying this for a long time. If you're still holding DRF as a token, as an investment, you have never lost anything. There is a lot that we have planned for, and as I just spoke about, bringing DRF into the Drive platform or the franchisees taking, it's gonna have a lot of its value in the Drive ecosystem. Um, as I said in the last AMA also, as of now, we have no plans of raising equity investments, although we have a lot of interest in place.
The question is more in terms of
Are we
converting
converting DRF?
Equity.
So there, when we were actually discussing a potential fundraise in future, there was a possibility that we might do a hybrid round, but which specifically doesn't mean that it will happen. There could be a possibility, but I'm not gonna say yes or no. There could be a possibility, but yeah, that's it.
Second question from KV Rao. As we as initial investors lost 94% of the value, did you analyze why this happened? How are you planning to overcome for the future investors?
So again, I've been saying this for a long time. That Drive is not a short-term project. We do understand this, that we are here for long term. We are building a long-term utility, specifically a real-world project that we are building, and it's gonna take time. So people who were into the product without knowing about it or without understanding the long-term impact of what Drive is, sold on us, and that's the hard truth. Like most of the people who invest in different crypto look for a short-term profit, and they found that profit and they dumped on us. That's the harsh reality, and we accept it as well. And does that impacted us in any way? No, it did not, because even if we got dumped, the price went down like 99%. We still went ahead and did what we promised. We already have Drive up running, started with 20 cabs to 3,000 cabs now in Bangalore. In itself is a huge achievement which people should recognize and appreciate, which never happens. So if you are still holding, you have never lost. Maybe the value has came down, but in the long term, with everything that we have in place, the value has to go up and will go up. So if you trust the platform, and you will stay back. If you don't, you left or you might leave. um, we cannot control on anybody selling DRF, because our focus was obviously to prove the whole concept of Drive as a platform.
So I would just probably add to that, and nothing new. I think it's something that Firdosh has already said. So how we plan to, so the reason I think Firdosh said is that people dump because they want to make a quick buck, which is fine, which is good. But how we plan to, I think the question is how do we plan to overcome for future investors? So I think we are trying to, the next step in that direction is to try to bring DRF into the platform.
Yeah, that's what we're already working on.
Which is what as Firdosh mentioned, we're already working on, right? So as soon as you're bringing the token into the platform and coupling that with the application itself, you have massive use cases for the token itself.
Yeah.
And massive tokenomic reward incentive mechanisms in place. So hopefully that should be on our side.
Yeah, because the purpose of DRF is not just to trade it on exchange. It has a bigger utility to it. And then if you are people who are invested in DRF, you should be proud enough of the fact that you hold something which has a real world utility, something that's going to be used on day-to-day lives of people who don't even understand crypto. That will eventually bring a lot of value to what DRF stands for.
Also, that negativity around crypto in India is settling down. So now is the
exactly, and that's where we have also started working on. We could not implement it on the day one when we actually launched Drive, because at that time there was a lot of question about what happens with crypto. Now things are getting better, and that's where we also started working on bringing DRF into the Drive platform.
Okay. Next question by Kivira. Any plans for converting tokens to equity, or when will hybrid equity round start? No. I think we answered that.
Yeah.
When are you going to open another staking pool? I think we answered that.
We answered that already. Yeah.
Any news on exchange? We answered that.
Yeah.
Need more lists to win more project. Okay, I think we answered that. I think it's more listing.
Okay.
When will Drive be available as a taxi service in other country? Is Dubai the next
I
one?
think it was just.
I already answered that question.
Nice for update in the number of drivers and riders. Rides. Thank you. Shailesh, how you are going to market Drive to common riders of Bangalore? Downloads are very few and a lot of negative reviews.
So if you look at reviews and the kind of downloads, okay, you cannot be perfect from day one when it comes to matching demand and supply. If you're someone who can do that, come and join us. We'll be happy, because it's a difficult question that at times what happens is we have a lot of drivers, but at that particular time you don't get a ride request. Then you have out of nowhere rider comes in, and in that particular location drivers are not there. So when we opened up the city as a whole, we also
Matching supply and
matching
demand
supply and
is
demand.
$1 billion question.
Exactly.
Trillion dollar companies are trying to figure it out. So it takes time
And
to.
as of now, also our successful complete ratios are like 30-40%. We are able to fulfill 30-40% request, and I'll say like March being the first month after everything went not good, specifically from the external factors. In this month itself, we are able to do 40% completion rate. So obviously there will be people who get disappointed, and it is with any marketplace that exists, you're gonna get some negative reviews of people, and obviously they speak about not getting a driver, which we do understand, and we agree that that happens, and we are working as much as we can do to make sure there's a perfect match between demand and supply, and which it is something you cannot actually achieve any day, like single day. So it's an ongoing process. We are
and we are marketing. I think this question is more about how do you want to market.
We are already marketing. We are getting a lot of good downloads, be it drivers and riders. We are getting new ride requests on everyday basis. So that's happening. You will see a lot of online offline campaigns in the month of April as well. So you'll start seeing Drive. If you are someone in Bangalore, you'll start seeing it on the roads also.
Ask them to leave 5-star rating.
Yeah. And if you're someone who's in Bangalore, leave us a 5-star rating.
All right.
And just one more point. Actually, things are supposed to be far better than what is supposed to be today. But the moment we realized, yes, we are good to go in January. Sorry. So the moment we realized that we are good to go in January, and we started getting more than 20-25 rides, and the mini lockdown has happened.
Yeah.
And
so obviously
we started from
picked up
zero
from
again.
zero
Again.
So based on that, that's what I'm saying. Like even when we have reached to that level where we have 40% successful rides as compared to the number of ride requests we are getting, we are in the correct direction of making sure there is a match and getting more supply. That's where we are working on getting more supply and more demand in place for the next quarter.
Okay. Any news on BBC video documentary? We just got audio.
Even we just got audio. So, yeah, I've followed up with them. I haven't heard back. So, as soon as we hear back, you'll hear back from us.
When project getting up, ma'am? No good news, ma'am. When, ma'am?
So obviously we give you good news here, but we'll try to get you more good news. There are 2 things that we are working on, and I don't understand what could be a good news. If I'm saying like when we started in November, we started.
So I think this follow up from this person is, with this community, I think it's hard to grow up Drive.
With the community that we have.
I think so. That's what he's.
Yeah, I guess, and that's what I was also discussing today with both of them. Like, we are doing so much as Drive, on the DRF aspect of it, or the Drive aspect of it, getting drivers right. We're doing everything in our capacity to achieve what we're supposed to do. But what are you doing as a community apart from the fact that you send us DMs, scold us, abuse us?
Yeah, I mean, right after that, I have a message from Hardik Shetar.
Exactly, and we are like, again, this is a request. I'll say, I'm saying this for a long time. We are already so much frustrated with everything that's going on, and then we open up our Telegram, and the reason, like, most of the time I don't want to come on Telegram is like people abusing me for what, and calling me scammer, calling. And if you're someone who actually really want to see what's happening, like, and you feel like you're a big investor or something like that. There's an investor who also texted me and said, like, you're doing nothing and blah blah blah. I said, okay, come over and see what we're doing. If you really want to do that, come over and see that before just typing things and abusing us or putting allegations on us. I also saw one message that Mudit received with somebody saying, like, developers are dumping and pumping the token.
And be fearful of God.
And be fearful of God. Okay, guys. First thing, if you will go and look at the vesting schedule of DRF, January 2022, the team token gets unlocked. If anybody can go and prove that we have ever unlocked a DRF token that belongs to team or sold on DRF token, please bring it to us, because we never ever even moved those tokens from ERC to BSC. We never did that. We never have sold a single token that we will never. So selling is a different thing. We never claimed it.
Nobody from the team
has ever
including
claimed,
the three of us, or
has ever
the
claimed DRF.
Ever claimed any
and
single token.
Then we hear allegation like this that we are pumping. Okay, somebody like last few weeks there was a pump that happened. Somebody might have bought a lot of DRF and the pump might have happened. Then who were the people who sold on us? It was you guys who don't believe on us and went and saw the opportunity to make 2x on something and sold, and then saying we are dumping. And it feels really sad because we're doing so much and we get to hear this kind of allegation. We get to get this kind of DMs that, we are cheating or we should be afraid of God and all of that. You really want to see what we're doing? Come and spend a day with us and see the reality of what we're trying to even achieve with what Drive is. And I'm sure, like, among the community that we have, if you can at least give me count of 3 real world products built on blockchain and crypto apart from Drive that I'm sure we don't know any other platform that is a real world project, has a real world implication. You should be proud. And a real world operation. You should be proud that you're part of our community and support us in this process instead of just coming and talking just about DRF. DRF will grow with Drive. If you can't understand it, okay, please leave. I cannot say more than that. You want to leave.
Relax. Okay. So next, Mohammed Tanish says, hi team, just joining from work. What did I miss? Not much. Stay hooked. Okay, Zach says, do you think the regulatory environment in India will turn more favorable? How does regulatory uncertainty affect Drive? I think it's getting better.
It's getting better, and that's where we said we are working on, bringing Drive into the DRF into Drive.
Next question by Shailesh. Are you planning for any celebrity for marketing Drive in Bangalore? I think we already have some. So we'll talk about that music video that we had.
Okay, so we have done some tie-ups like we partnered with a music company already.
And music label we partnered up with, and there was a music label release, an album release. And
we are planning to make this brand awareness campaign go as big as possible. And answering Shailesh, if I'm not wrong, Shailesh's question, we are tying up with a celebrity, most probably in a week or so. So for promoting the driver education video, like celebrity is the one who will be.
Video that we are shooting.
So he will be coming as a driver, in Canada. So he'll be coming as a driver and promoting the whole out education app.
Okay. After that, we've got wonderful people telling us, Zach and Randy, that we are doing good. So thanks a lot, guys, for your support. We hear that very, very rarely. So good to hear that. I request, please don't provide free money or offers. Provide the quality in a way that we get good mouth publicity. Please also think of break even within 2 to 3 years at least.
Yes, we are also very conscious about not burning a lot of cash like how others did, and play on more on the value that what Drive is. Although we all have to provide cashbacks and we have to give incentives in the initial days of Drive, that is how any marketplace works. We cannot do something very different. The idea is, as soon as people understand what Drive is and we get few audience in place who start using Drive, they will start focusing more on the referral that we have. So we get more organic audience from the people who are already part of the network.
Yeah, and we are Indians, so we are very frugal. Don't worry. Okay. Next up, Mohammed Tanish says, I agree it's hard to mitigate the short-term mindset of the investors in crypto space. I think you are doing the right thing by fixing the business side of things first. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't let the FUD demotivate you. As long as the price is down, we have opportunity to buy and build our position. Cheers. Okay, Fat Panda. Could DRF potentially be used to pay for journeys in crypto-friendly countries? Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, Shane and Ray also clapping for us. Thanks for that. Fat Panda, I enjoy these informative AMAs. Please keep up the good work. Thank you. Never mind weak-minded individuals who tend to vent out their frustration.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's what we need.
Rishit Mathur, meanwhile, where are you allocating funds? I think marketing should be a priority for a taxi company, but haven't been hearing about it much.
Rishit, if you are in Bangalore, you will hear a lot about drivers, about Drive. We are as of now doing online campaign. Offline campaign we tried doing, but then because of some restrictions, like if you might have seen the Holi campaign that went live, we were a part of some hotels, and so there were offline campaigns of.
But there was some, I think, some.
One got cancelled because
Yeah.
of the restriction from government. So there are certain restrictions which
Yeah.
we have to take into consideration. But there's a lot that's happening in April. If you're around, you will see us in the city.
So like maybe in a week or so,
Yeah.
you will see almost like we are doing auto branding. It's more than 500 to 750 autos. So literally Drive is moving everywhere.
Yeah, you'll see Drive all across in Bangalore in the next quarter. That's the plan that we want to do, and we are working on the commercial videos that we are doing. Basically, ads that we will be pushing in coming months for Drive, and most of our cost actually goes into the salaries that we pay, and then the marketing that we are doing. The good part is we are 47 now. In few weeks we'll become team of 50. So we have grown from 3 of us to 47 now. So that's the good part.
All right. So next is my dear friend Crypto King, which I think also DMs me at times, sending me like abusives and stuff. So some of these are a lot of fun at times when I get like random messages from random people sort of abusing me. It's a lot of fun.
I think in the meeting room you were telling yesterday you were laughing.
So he says pump and dump by devs. All right. Next is Zash again. I do know a few real world crypto apps. It's not easy and all have their difficulties. Keep going. Let the haters. Okay, don't let the haters drag you down. Many of us are patient and very excited. All right, cheers.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. After that, okay. Oh my God, so many pump and dumps.
How will you block the decline? We have already
we
spoken
answered
about
that,
what
yeah.
we are bringing DRF.
Nasreen says, Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Mohammed again, well said. You don't have to fear of people leaving if you're doing the right thing for the project. We also don't need celebrities. We only need a working project and keep our promises. Actually, we need both.
We need
I mean,
both,
there is. I mean, so a lot of. I mean, this is something that I want to say as a tech guy who did not understand marketing and operations quite well. But I think gradually a lot of us who do not understand the business do not actually understand what goes behind making a company like Drive run successfully. There are a lot of difficulties in marketing, in operations, which we as normal human beings who have nothing to do with these things are not able to fathom, right? Which is something that Surya, his team have been diligently working on. So I think it's never fair to say that you only need to work on the product and not on any marketing, any thing of that sort, any cashback. I think that's not the right way to go about it. But neither is the other extreme where you just focus on the marketing, on shilling the product, on getting celebrities, giving cashbacks, giving promotions. So there is that fine balance which we as a company, as a young company, are learning to make. And I
specifically, among the customer, the driver and rider, having some celebrity engagement or having our presence across the Bangalore brings more credibility. That's what we hear. Some drivers say we don't see you on roads or don't see you on newspaper. So those are the things that we have to do time and again to get that credibility in place also.
And
so
not just credibility, they should know that we exist. I mean, through one means or the other, through one
so
channel
it's
or the
a
other.
combination of
Word reaches very quick.
Yeah.
So I mean, the purpose is not to sort of, I would say, entice them with false cities, but it's more to get them on board and let them experience what we have, which we expect to blow them over, like to make them feel special about about us. Right? That's the idea. All right. Okay. Next up is, will you expect franchisees to pay 10 million?
DRF. There is no payment of DRF.
When DRF reaches $1, or might there be an investment?
I guess this is something that I spoke in the last AMA also, that as of now the requirement is 10 million. With time the requirement will change of how much DRF you have to stake. Obviously with DRF going $1 in future, that should probably happen. You cannot expect someone to stake 1 million worth of DRF to get 10 million worth of DRF for staking, for getting a small country or a small
city. But for a big city, definitely.
Big city, yeah, it will make sense. So as we grow,
and it's not staking. It's not buying.
It's not
staking.
Paying us. You're never paying us. You're staking to get that franchisee right. So that money will always belong to you, not to me.
Yeah. Okay. Next question by Rajesh says, is it true that Drive app got crashed? Why this happened? Any plans to avoid this? How? So yes, it is true. I will take this question as the tech head. So it is true. It happened not once. It happened twice. It happened thrice. The app crashed multiple times, and that happens when you're building a product. When Surya's team outperforms my team, it happens a lot. So we try to make sure that that whenever such crashes happen, we handle them gracefully. We make sure we fix things which led to that crash. We ensure that we do a lot of regression testings, a lot of load testing before we release new builds. So it happened, and we made sure that never became the cause for another crash, and we moved on and we went ahead.
Yes,
stronger and better.
And yes, competition is real.
Yeah, the reason why you're seeing me back here, sitting between both of them, is because that kind of clashes we see here, because one guy actually leads the tech and another leads the ops.
So it's hard at the end of the day to keep both the sides running in parallel, and we do see difficulties time and again, but I think it's okay, and we're moving ahead stronger.
We are moving in the correct direction. We have a strong pipeline also in place, which is important.
Okay, next question is, who is Ashish Dash? Include team.
Cool. In your team, I guess. Maybe. I guess he's a community manager. Yeah, he basically manages DRF community, the Telegram group that we have.
All right, next question, Ed Patiso. Can I help launch in US? Yes, you can. I think there is a franchisee.
There's a franchisee request that we already have in place. So if you're someone who wants to help us, there's a franchisee form that is there. You fill the form. We'll get in touch with you and see how we can move ahead.
All right. So there is Ray White who says, crypto clown more than crypto king. For crypto king.
Okay. I was like, for whom?
Lovely. I'm gonna save his name as that now. Yeah. Whenever he messages me. Okay, super.
Crypto king is losing it, I think.
Yeah, crypto king. Dude, so every day I receive about 3-4 messages from Crypto King, and I've never blocked him till now. I keep sending him emojis. So it's a lot of fun. Like, he's become a good friend now.
So maybe that's why he's more.
Yeah, he loves us so much.
All right, let's see.
Anything else you have? Any other question?
Crypto King is a spammer. So there is Rakshan the Khan says, well done, Team Drive. Thank you. Well done, Team Drive. Thank you. Drive LP with 100% APY isn't showing the rewards. yes, that is our bad. We will add rewards to that.
So I guess I was also hearing about this problem, but Drive LP with 100%, it went live with a normal staking pool also, and there were never a staking that took place on that LP pool. If you open that pool,
I think there
nobody.
is. I think it's just Thanesh
Maybe
who
a
has,
1 or 2%
it's
who
just-
might have actually the reason
So
why,
I think it's just
because there
Thanesh who
was a
has.
lot of errors and the
Exactly,
bugs in
yeah.
that LP pool towards the end when the pool was actually closing. There were never a staking that took place. Maybe few might have
I
done.
think it's just Thanesh who has.
Okay,
and-
Shanish will look into it and add the rewards for you.
Yeah, we'll probably add more rewards.
More
than what I
rewards
do.
for you. Because that was the reason, and I checked it, but there was nothing substantial there. So I felt like maybe it was the team testing it,
Yes,
and
it
that
was most of the tokens are us testing.
exactly we
but
testing.
some from Thanesh.
Thanesh. So we'll look into it and we'll add the rewards there. Don't worry.
Okay, Crypto King calls us 3 idiots.
Thank you.
For example, if I know someone who want to become a franchisee in my area, I could pledge my tokens in order. Yes, we have that. We call that
have
delegation.
Delegation.
Yeah, so we do have that.
And we also have requests from few people who said like we have a lot of DRF in place, but we don't want to become a potential franchisee.
Exactly.
Can be
So-
delegated, and we
And
said,
imagine not just people, imagine drivers who receive rewards on the platform
They'll be
being able to
actually
delegate. And by virtue of that, having control of the platform because now they have voting rights in the franchisee.
Yeah.
So that can be super cool. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all.
I think Zach wants a T-shirt. Which T-shirt? Like Firdosh style or?
I think her t-shirt is pretty awesome.
I also want T-shirt. I think we have to send people T-shirts community.
Yeah, people who want T-shirt, like we'll open up a Google form for you guys.
Yeah, happy to send.
Happy to send you T-shirts and other merchandise if you're interested.
All right. I think we are sorted now. We've answered most of the questions.
So thank you so much everyone who joined today, and thank you for the kind of support that we saw today. Maybe me shouting at not only you guys but coming and shouting here is also working because
Firdosh's favorite pastime.
my job description has become now to shout ever since I'm back here. That's what I do. But guys, there's something that I wanted to share today. There was this article that I read which was about Vitalik, where he spoke about metaverses and people buying Bored Apes and everything for $3 million, $2 million, and he said this, and I guess that makes a lot of sense for us also as Drive. And it says if we don't exercise our voice, the only thing that get built are the things that are immediately profitable. So we are not those people who are going to build something that is immediately profitable. And that's why we stand out, we are different. And look, we can easily go away and stop communicating like 90% of project does. We feel ourselves responsible, and that's why we keep coming back every month. Even if we get a lot of abuses, we make sure that we are back every month, irrespective of the fact what's happening, what's delivered, what's not delivered. We keep coming back to you guys. So try to not make it toxic for us.
Yeah.
That we don't feel to talk to you guys. And as I said,
No, I think that'll never happen because I have a lot of faith. I mean, a lot of community members still
who
are
also
supportive.
exactly who
So
are also supportive.
I don't
but
think
yeah.
personally. I mean, if I have to speak personally, I don't think there'll ever be a day where I will not want to come here.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of people who do still believe in what our
we
vision
are
is.
doing,
And
and that's something that also keep motivating us to keep coming back to you and speak.
And a lot of crypto clowns can come and go, and I keep enjoying them whenever they come. So I mean, it's a lot of fun that as well. So
so we will still do what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
There could be some delay in timelines, and we'll obviously be upfront and come and tell you that we promised on something and it's been delayed, but never has it happened that we promised on something and it will never get delivered.
Yeah.
We'll always deliver. It might take some more day or some more weeks, but we will deliver on what we have promised.
Right.
That's what
There is a message from Akash Kulkarni, who's our senior blockchain developer, says drive forever. Akash, drive forever. So Akash says, so the Lambo soon. Okay, so guys,
we have this wall that we got.
this Lambo soon that you see is
This one.
built by Surya.
It's scribbled by
So,
Surya. So we
scribbled
got
by
this
Surya.
whole wall involved because a lot of people in Drive also don't understand what DRF is. So we got this DRF wall in place, which has a lot of things, which is very much about the crypto ecosystem. So we got this wall in place. Hope you guys like it.
Okay. All right. So I think we are done with the MA. We've answered all questions and happy to be here after
Yeah.
a long
And
time.
April is going to be very exciting
Yeah,
for us.
and
So,
specifically people who are in Bangalore, if you ever see anything related Drive on the roads, like do
Yeah.
click a photo and tag us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think Salesh is also here. So Salesh, do
Yeah.
test our application, do
Yeah.
talk to us, and we'll help.
Because I really felt good when one of the investor who was in Bangalore, he got a cab and he did a review video. That was really nice. And we're also trying to do some review videos with drivers and riders and get video testimonials in place. But if you're someone who's in Bangalore, ever see anything about Drive on the road, please do click a photo and tag us. We'll feel good about it.
yes, and leave a 5-star rating.
And leave a 5-star.
I'm sorry to ask, but that's very important.
Yeah, it's very important.
All right. Okay. So let's call it quits.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.